Hello and welcome to GadgetGuideUSA. Thanks for watching my AomeTech Mini TFT LCD HD Multimedia Projector product review. As you can see here, I've started this off kind of in the dark. My monitors are still on, but that's so I can see to push the buttons and everything. But pretty much what we have laid out here is the screen. It can go bigger, and it still looks actually better, or it still looks decent getting bigger, which I was really impressed with. This is quite a bit better than the projectors I've reviewed in the past. It is a little bit more expensive too as well. But really, this is a really great picture, and it's looking great on my wall. And I'll go ahead and play this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this sound down. The screen looks really sharp. As you can see, it's really wide. You can control it. There's two things on the side there, and you can control the tilt of the screen, which I'm going to go ahead and play with now. You can kind of see how it's tilting there. So it does come with a peg, so you can adjust the angle. So if I wanted to pick it up here, I could display it there while still rotating it to what would be, an expected viewpoint. Or you also can do it down and then rotate it up, so that no matter no matter what you display it on, you have that tilt, and that's nice. There is a secondary feature, which is the focus. You can see I can take it out of focus, and there we go. But that looks really sharp and impressive, and I definitely like that. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to switch it over, and it also has plenty of inputs, and we're going to go more into that here in a second when I do the actual full review. But we're going to just push the input button here, and we're going to switch it over to USB, and then we're going to actually play a movie. And this is the actual starting screen that you see, so it looks pretty good. Alright, and then we're going to go to Piggyback, which is one of my cheap USB drives, and then we're going to go to this Gadget Guide video. And now, just so you know, this video right here is in fact playing with the internal speaker, and you'll be able to hear that sound.
Thanks for watching my HDMI to HDMI plus audio product review.
I guess it even memorizes your play.
As usual, go ahead and start with the box. It is a professional retail quality box.
Just so you remember when the sound can go louder, but I have the speaker pointed away from the camera.
Goes over some of the stuff, full 1080p.
And yeah, that is a really impressive size. The size looks good. If you notice, it's not very pixelated at all.
Important is that essentially what it does is you have one HDMI in.
And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to HD and let you see my computer monitor screen.
In addition to the HDMI video and
you can see all the options there. That's nice. I have the laptop plugged in HDMI, obviously, so I'm going to go to HDMI. I have plugged it up VGA, and I've tried multiple resolutions as far as my laptop goes. We're going to close this right now. I have the laptop set by 800 by 600, and it looks great. And you can turn up the resolution pretty far, and it doesn't really affect the quality at all. The only thing it may affect is that some of these, if you look at these, the edges, right there where I have the mouse, if you look at the very edge, as you change the resolutions, occasionally it might cut a small amount, say, just like an eighth of an inch off. But I am the Gadget Guide, and I look for things to complain about, and that's so far my biggest complaint, which, is kind of minor in the scheme of things. But there's my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and change the resolution, and we're going to crank it all the way up here. We're showing the maximum resolution of the actual projector, so it's not going to get better quality as I turn the resolution up. I just wanted to kind of show you the difference and how much the difference actually makes. We're going to go ahead and keep those changes, and you can actually see, okay, so there's no cutoff whatsoever, and we do like that. But as you change to all the resolutions, I've tried all these resolutions at 1280 by 678. So if you try strange resolutions, it may cut a small amount off, which for my applications isn't going to matter at all. I'm really going to enjoy this. So everything looks good. The sound is acceptable for an internal speaker, but remember, you can plug in a speaker. It has a headphone jack, so if you don't like that sound, you can actually plug it into a variety of different projectors. So I just tried to give you a good idea of what it looks like, the video quality, the sound quality. Alright, I hope you were as impressed with that display as I was. The screen looked really big, it wasn't very pixelated. It only does maximum up to 800, what is it? It's over standard, it's better than standard definition. So it does 800 by 480 pixels. So that looked really good. Well, we'll go ahead and talk about the box now. It's just a pretty standard retail box. It's going to give you all the formats it plays, which we really do like that. MP3, WMA, OGG, AAC, FLAC, APE, and .wave. It supports all kinds of pictures, and it actually supports quite a few more than what's available here. Well, just as full format support as far as video files. So, and we'll go over that. I tried MPEG-4, AVIs, .move. They all worked well. So I was really impressed with the way they worked. And it goes over some other basic features here. TFT LCD, 1000 lumens, LED. Basically a lot of stuff. It says the projection size between 34 and 130 inches. Just so you know, in the footage you just saw, it was about 88 inches wide. And it still looked really sharp. Unfortunately, my wall wasn't big enough to display the maximum size, so I always like to try to get the maximum in those footage. In this case, just my wall in my studio isn't big enough, so I guess that's great. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the remote control. It's pretty standard remote control, but it has everything you want. It has your input, your menu. You can mute, play, fast forward, pause. It even has skip frames. So if you're listening to music, you can skip to the next song. It has fast forward. It, of course, it has all your menu buttons where you can get, up, down, left, right, and OK to get through your menus. It has escape. It has pick, zoom, and turn, which is actually so you can turn the screen. It has your info and repeat buttons, and also has volume up and down. So it's not like a super advanced remote control, but it has every function you would want in this price range. It's definitely what you would expect. The user guide is great. I know that sounds weird, but I get a lot of horrible instruction manuals that are poorly translated English. That is not so in this case. It's professionally written, it's easy to understand, and we definitely like that. You can go through everything, it steps through everything, it has good high quality pictures, so that actually makes a big difference if you ever do have a problem. So reading through this will actually, get the job done, and you won't be all frustrated with a horrible manual. So of course we do like that, good pictures, good directions, easy to understand. Then we can talk about I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the projector and some of the feeds available. Right here is your keystone, and what that does, you can kind of see as I move this, it's moving it forward and back. It's actually, that adjusts the focus. So you adjust the size of the projector, of the projected image, by moving it backwards and forwards. And then once you have it at the appropriate size or the appropriate distance, whatever you want, you use this to focus it, and it gives you, you can see how much that's moving, so you have a really large area of focus, so you can focus really far away or really close. And then in addition, you have this, which you may not be able to tell what that does right now, but basically what we have is this little thing, and what this is for is you can control, if I put it in the right place, is you can actually control the angle here. So if I can ever get this screwed in. All right, so we have that screwed in. You can see that the angle, that's keeping it projected up like this, or I can screw it in and make it like that. So as you adjust this right here, this way, you actually adjust this, and I showed that on the video, to angle it. So that way you can have a good flat screen that's proper looking at any angle that you choose to do with this little peg. So we always like flexibility, and this that's actually a huge option for flexibility as far as having a keystone and all that. So it's definitely a huge bonus. We have your standard power cord there, and we're just going to go ahead and plug that in, make sure it fits. Of course, we saw it running, so we know it works. We have your infrared sensor right there, and that's the remote control, and that's one of the only complaints I have, is it's an infrared remote control, and you have to directly point it at that infrared sensor. So if you're sitting there watching a movie, you kind of need to be behind the projector in order to, work the remote control. Once again, minor, but on the Gadget Guide, I look for things to complain about. It's actually, sometimes with some of these products, especially for a, about $105, $110 projector, it's really hard to find things to complain about when you're looking, and they developed a good product. So as far as the remote control, you heard the internal speaker yourself. It's not look how tiny it is. It's not going to blow your mind with its awesome bass, but it definitely gets the job done. It was clear. I could definitely use it for camping and things. I would probably, just because I'm kind of, I like to go overboard, I would probably bring an entire full stereo. But then again, when I go camping, I can load down a car even though we're staying overnight. But the speaker will get the job done in most cases. So it's definitely something that I would use. But if I was planning to watch a movie outdoors, I might bring an entire sound system. all our inputs, and these are definitely impressive. If you want to run out of a laptop or a PC, it has your VGA connector, so of course we like that. If you want to run it out of a modern DVD player, a lot of you know, the newer, more modern toys, it has your HDMI in. If you want to run it out of some more old school types, it gives you your RCAs. And maybe you might have some stuff for AV, which is this 4-contact plug that goes into RCA plugs. Most people in the United States aren't going to be very familiar with an AV plug, but they at least will be familiar with the 3 RCAs. So, of course, we like that. It has a headphone out, so just in case you do want to connect you know, a more powerful speaker, a Bluetooth speaker, you know, whatever you have available, it does have a headphone out, and you can just plug your external speakers into there and it's good to go. It has a USB in and an SD card in. Notice this is a standard SD card, so you can put micro SD cards in there as long as you have an adapter. So it has plenty of inputs, really an impressive amount of inputs for a projector, especially, I mean, for the, you know, the $100 range about there. It looks really good, really sleek and sharp. I definitely like this top. What you can't see right here, since I don't have it plugged in, is right here in this little slot is actually an indicator light. So when you plug it in, it turns on. When you turn it on, it kind of blinks to let you know, hey, I'm starting up. So in addition to all these buttons, inputs, remote control, it also has an indicator light. You'll notice the buttons up here, input, and that's of course so you can switch between all the available imports, VGA, HDMI, USB, SD card, or AV, RCA, whatever you want to call it. It has a left and right key so you can get through the menus, and then it has an OK button, and then of course, you know, your power button, which most of us are going to be pretty you know, familiar with the power button. Another thing to mention that a lot of projectors don't have that this has an output 5 volts. So you can actually charge your phone with it. I tested it. It was charging at 0.265 or 4.99 volts at 0.26 amps. So you could easily charge your phone in there, and it would charge about the same speed as a, you know, as a standard power supply, or as a standard cell phone charger. So, you know, I mean, it's not something that I was like thinking like, oh man, I wish this projector had a, you know, place to charge my phone, but it does. So I can't complain about any extra functionality that's kind of tossed in for free, so I definitely like that. Even if I'm not planning on using it, I like that. It does come with a lens cap cover to protect your investment, even though the investment in this case isn't that steep. I mean, for $105, you don't really expect. Okay, so I've reviewed some other $70 projectors which had the same inputs, but of course they were only in 640 by 280 resolution. This offers high resolution, all the inputs you would want, the flexibility. It plays all kinds of movie files, doesn't matter whether you have it on an SD card or USB card. It can take VGA out from your laptop, it can take HDMI out from your Bluetooth. As far as looking for complaints, just having an infrared remote control, if that's my biggest complaint, that doesn't really seem very valid, does it? But definitely giving 2 thumbs up for the Gadget Guide, definitely something I'm going to enjoy playing with, and this is actually going home with me today, so I'll be happy about that. I hope you enjoyed my product review today. Comments are always welcome at the bottom of the page. Subscribers are always appreciated. Thank you. And if you have any specific questions, comments, or suggestions, please email me at GadgetGuideUSA@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.